Well, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. The year's almost done and it's time to be jolly. Yes, oh, it's Christmas. Oh, we love Christmas. You know, it's such a great time of year, just a time to be with family and to think, you know, even like back through the year, and gosh, what a crazy year it has been. But even in that, we can sit back and think about like all the beautiful things that have happened, even in the midst of the crazy. And I know for me, I've just been sitting back and thinking about some of these just beautiful parenting wins that we've had, and really just what a gift they are, you know, especially at this Christmas season, this gift of parenting wins. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, yes, it's Christmas, and oh, I love Christmas. It really is such a beautiful time to rejoice like in the meaning of it, just rejoice in the family time and just those special moments. And you know what I also rejoice in? The fact that you are watching these videos. Thank you so much for watching them and for the likes and the subscribes. And you know what? It's not too late to subscribe. You know, give us that thumbs up. Be part of our Learning Life community. Now, I also, while rejoicing about this year, I've also realized I've had to apologize a lot. Yes, you know, I'd like to blame quarantine for all of this, but you know what? I really just can't blame just that. I think it's been a whole mix of that. Yes, COVID, quarantine, 5-year-olds, twins, you know, a working mom, a tired mom, like all of these things that have just come in this weird sort of crazy year. And in that, I haven't done the best myself. And yes, so I have been apologizing a lot. But in the midst of that, we've just had these beautiful moments that just, you know, you go, oh, that is such a parenting win, even in what the midst seems like maybe a big pile of poo. Yes, we've had a lot of tantrums this year. We sort of hit 5 with a vengeance, and with that came these very strong personalities. When you're raising powerful girls, these powerful emotions come out. And we've had this weird sort of season of some pretty terrible behaviors, if I am just honest. And I just want to share with you some of the stories that are coming out from that really actually are, to my husband and I, these beautiful little parenting wins, like these gifts. Now, in our family, yes, we talk about crappy attitudes and throwing a turd, which is not an actual like a literal thing. It is figurative. You know, and nobody wants to be around a turd. They're stinky. They stink out the room, you know, so that's sort of our vernacular. And, you know, we've had some of these moments where it's been like I've had to rein myself in. But even in the midst of these, we've had some moments. Like there was one day, one of the girls was just struggling. We'll just say she was struggling. And she's in her room, and I was actually with her because she was going through just this real phase of, if you left her alone, like in her anger and her tantrums, it was almost like she felt abandoned. And so I was just sitting there, just understanding like this fear of being alone for her. But then she storms off into her cupboard and she slams the door with this, "I love you," and then slams the door. And a few seconds later opens it up again and goes, "And don't think that I don't," and slams it again. And I am trying so hard not to laugh because on one hand, I mean, yes, there's this anger and this expression, but I'm like, oh, look at that. She's listening. Like, because we'd been really trying so hard to communicate that, you know, even in the midst of these behaviors, just our love for our girls and that we love them and that they should not think that we don't, even if maybe we get angry or frustrated. And here she was shouting it back to me. And I'm like, oh, she loves me. That's a win. And another one we had like another night. And again, like I say, you're acting like a turd. And I say acting in the fact, like when you think about actors, you know, you put on this persona, this character. So I don't say you are a turd. You're acting like a turd. And one of the things that we really do for the girls is we try to really speak words of encouragement over them. I have a video on that, just speaking these truths that we really want to see evident in their lives. And this one, she's just struggling, and suddenly she goes, "Well, I am your miracle, and I am your precious one, and I am powerful, but just not right now." And again, it's like, in the midst of their anger and their frustration, they're actually like shouting at us the truths about themselves. And I don't think they realize that, but yeah, we can laugh about it later. And at the time, you're just sort of trying very hard not to laugh. But I'm like, you know what, baby girl, shout at me all you like that you are a miracle. I am all for that. And then I've had, I don't know, is this a parenting win? But it's a great story anyhow. Trying to take responsibility for our actions. And I asked, where do you think these turds are coming from? And we've been working on like what is imagination and stories and stuff like that. She goes, well, Mum, there's the queen of turd world. And what she does is she steals children and then she poisons their hearts so that their hearts are just full of turds. And then when their hearts are full of turds, she releases them back. And these children, Mum, they just are walking around, and I must have bumped into one of them, and that poison from that turd heart got onto me. And that's why I'm acting like a turd. And, I'm like, props to you, girl, for such a creative story. In fact, I would love to write that as a book. But yeah, we need to take responsibility for our actions. But again, it's like this little at least we're thinking through things and possibilities, like great creative writing right there. But no, let's talk about personal responsibility. But even in that, just those head and heart connections. And we were lying in bed one night and this little body creeps over and it's like, Mommy, Papa, my head and my heart connected and I am sorry for my turds. And it's like, parenting win. Like, oh my goodness. We hadn't said anything. She was off, we thought, in bed, falling asleep. But she'd been taking this moment to reflect. It's like, parenting win. Like, this is great. That she's also seeing that our heads and our hearts need to connect. And again, I'm like, whoa, I must be doing something right in the midst of apologizing a lot. So, we've been having that. And so in this midst of this just like crazy year, I look at these little things and go, yeah, you know what? It's okay. They're going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And of course, they love their snuggles. I had one night to finish off. One of them just comes up and she just starts snuggling in. And I'm like, oh, I love this. Never lose your snuggliness. And she leans in and she's all snuggled down. And I hear this, I love you, boobs. And I'm like, great. Not mummy. Not I love you, mummy. I love you, boobs. So, we express love in weird and crazy ways. But, this 2020, crazy year, and I'm believing for just a great next year. But I can look back and go, even in the midst of the crazy and dare we say just total weird, that there have been these beautiful gifts and these parenting wins. And I hope that you can maybe just take that time to just sit back and go, you know what? We've had a lot of parenting wins. This is great. In the midst of weird, a lot of great parenting wins. And that really is my wish for you. As I also just wish you a merry, merry, wonderful Christmas. And thank you so much for watching. And, as we move into this next year, if you would love to be part of this community and see more of these videos, you can join us with Patreon and become a patron with us. You can check that out at patreon.com or at LearningThis.Life.